Hello students, so today we are going to discuss the work done by interacting forces, and interacting forces can be of two types, that are constraint interacting forces and non-constraint interacting forces. Constraint interacting forces can be tension, normal reaction, in which the motion of one body solely depends upon the motion of the other body. The motions are not independent of each other. And then there are non-constraint interacting forces in which the motions are pretty independent of each other. They do not depend upon each other. It's like gravity, electrostatic force, etc. These are non-constraint in nature. Let me explain this with a diagram. So in our diagram, you can see that we are having two particles, 1 and 2, and they are interacting with each other by action-reaction forces that can be constraint interacting force and also can be non-constraint interacting force. So work done on particle 1 is F dx1 and the work done on particle 2 is F dx2 cos 180, because on particle 2 F is directed opposite to the displacement. Now the sum of this work done, total work done on the system, that I mean to say, dW is equal to dW1 plus dW2, and that is Fdx1 plus minus of Fdx2. That is Fdx1 minus Fdx2, that is Fdx1 minus x2. That is minus Fd x of 1 with respect to 2. Now, if the particles are not moving with respect to each other, then dx12 is equals to 0. This means the sum of the work done by these forces is 0. Now, if the particles move under the action of constraint forces like tensions, normal reactions, etc., whatever distance one particle travels, the same distance is traveled by the other particle also. And therefore, in this case, dx12 is 0. Now because dx12 is 0, therefore total work done on the system is 0. So total work done on the system by a pair of constraint interacting force is always 0. Though the work done by constraint interacting force on individual bodies is not 0. Tension is doing positive work on body 1, tension is doing negative work on body 2, but as much positive work it is doing on body 1, the same amount of negative work it is doing on body 2, and therefore net work done on the system is 0. But if it would have been a non-constraint interacting force like gravitational force, etc., so displacements would not have been same. That is, dx1 would not have been equal to dx2. Suppose one was a very big body and one was a very small body, and they are attracting each other with gravitational force only, then whatever distance has been traveled by the big body, the same distance is not traveled by the small body. The small body travels more distance in the same time, because it has more acceleration, though forces are same. Therefore, in this case, when the bodies are interacting through non-constraint interacting forces, dx1 is not equal to dx2, and therefore there is a net work done on the system. And whenever there is a net work done on the system, the kinetic energy of the system changes. So work done by constraint interacting forces do not change the kinetic energy of the system, but work done by non-constraint interacting forces change the kinetic energy of the system.